Imagine this instead. Randall Kolo Muani one-on-one with the keeper, seconds left in extra time. He shoots. It goes in. France wins the World Cup, not Argentina. Messi walks off that pitch with no trophy forever. That almost happened. In real life, Emiliano Martinez got a foot to that shot, and Argentina won on penalties. One save. That's the entire gap between two completely different futures for the greatest player in football history. Here's what actually happened fast. Argentina up 2-0, cruising with barely 20 minutes left. Then Mbappé scores twice in under 2 minutes, a penalty and a volley, and the whole stadium flips upside down. 2-2. Extra time. Messi scores again to make it 3-2. Mbappé answers with another penalty, completing his hat trick. 3-3. Kolo Muani gets his chance. Martinez saves it. Penalties. Messi finally wins the one trophy that had eluded him his entire career. Now let's talk about the version where that save never happens. If that shot goes in, Messi's World Cup career ends with the exact same missing line it always had. No World Cup. And that line matters more for him than almost anyone in football history, because for over a decade, the argument against him as the greatest of all time came down to that one sentence. Cruyff never won one either. Neither did Puskas or Di Stefano, two of the best to ever play. But Messi wasn't being compared to them. He was being compared to Maradona, a player who carried Argentina to a World Cup almost single-handedly in 1986, and to Ronaldo, his career-long rival who never won one at all. Lose that shootout and the debate doesn't move an inch. It just gets frozen in place permanently, with both of the modern game's biggest names stuck on the same unfinished sentence. And there's no rewrite coming. He was 35. This was already, by his own admission, his last World Cup. But Messi wouldn't be the only legacy rewritten that day. On the other side of the pitch, a new king would arrive years early. Because flip that save, and France becomes back-to-back World Cup champions, something no country has managed since Brazil in 1962. Mbappé becomes a two-time World Cup winner at 23 years old, a stat that puts him in the same breath as Pelé, the only other player to win 2 World Cups before turning 25. His hat trick, one of only 2 ever scored in a World Cup final, stops being remembered as the greatest individual performance in a losing effort and becomes the headline of the entire tournament. The Ballon d'Or conversation shifts overnight. Instead of Messi cementing his case as the greatest ever, it's Mbappé being talked about as the man built to inherit the sport, a decade ahead of schedule. And Argentina loses more than a trophy in that version too. In real life, close to 5 million people flooded the streets of Buenos Aires for the victory parade, one of the largest public gatherings the country has ever recorded, during a period when inflation was tearing through household budgets and giving people almost nothing to celebrate. For a few weeks, none of that mattered. Take that win away and none of it happens. Instead, Argentina adds one more entry to a very long list of near misses that stretches back decades, and a golden generation of players gets remembered exactly the way so many before them were, as brilliant, gifted, and ultimately not quite enough. Messi doesn't get to stand alongside Maradona as the man who finally brought the trophy home again for his country. He becomes the closest Argentina ever got, and nothing more. There's a wider ripple too. Sponsors, documentaries, statues, museum exhibits, entire brand campaigns were built around that moment within days of it happening. Adidas repositioned Messi's entire commercial identity around being a World Cup winner almost immediately. Strip that trophy away, and an entire layer of football's modern business, not just its history, gets rebuilt around a different name. And that's really the uncomfortable part of this whole story. One save from one goalkeeper on one shot, and the entire hierarchy of modern football gets rewritten from top to bottom. Not because anyone's talent changed overnight. Messi was exactly as good the second before that save as he was the second after it. Mbappé was exactly as brilliant either way. Only the outcome moved, and it moved because of a single stretch of Emiliano Martinez's leg, timed to the millisecond. So next time someone tells you the greatest players are simply destined to win, remember that Martinez's save didn't just send the match to penalties. It decided who the greatest player of all time gets to be. It decided who Argentina remembers as a hero instead of a near miss. And it decided all of that by inches.